Now I'm going to share with you 5 indicators that I consider the most useful, especially for beginner traders. We'll start with the simplest ones and finish with the more advanced. I recommend you watch this video carefully until the end. If anything, you can see the timestamps below and skip straight to the indicator you're interested in. So let's not waste any time and jump straight to the first indicator. We'll start with the simplest and honestly a very useful indicator, the RSI indicator. I highly recommend that every beginner take the time to get familiar with it, and of course, make sure you really understand what it's actually for. This tool is used to determine whether the price is currently considered oversold or overbought in the market. So what exactly does this actually do for us? If we know this kind of information, if you see, for example, that the RSI is overbought, that means a reversal is coming soon, and you should be looking for sell trades. If the indicator shows oversold conditions, it means the asset is oversold, and soon you should be looking for a reversal and, accordingly, buy trades. If you study this indicator and learn to use it well, you'll be able to spot all the reversals, when a downtrend is starting, or on the contrary, when an uptrend is beginning. That's why the RSI rightfully takes first place, as it shows us when the market is overbought or oversold. I recommend it to every beginner. The second indicator is responsible for the trend. If you set it up correctly, then you'll be able to clearly observe the overall market movement as it unfolds. With this indicator, we can also use it as a full-fledged entry point and work with it directly. So while with the RSI we just see a reversal, here we can actually enter trades on a bounce from certain zones. But again, it's not a complete strategy on its own, though you can still work with it. The Supertrend indicator does a great job of showing us upward and downward movements. So if you see that mostly green lines are dominating the chart and the price is steadily moving up, that means we have an uptrend, and it's from these specific areas that you can enter trades while following the trend. Accordingly, if you use the RSI indicator, you can set the period, for example, to 50, and then you'll see a clear and obvious upward movement in the price action. But in general, I recommend using the following settings for more comfortable trading and better entry points. A period of 20 and a multiplier of 2.5. You can add this indicator right here. Just click on Supertrend and it will be added for you. So go ahead and use it. You can use it to identify the trend and accordingly trade with the trend. That will definitely be much safer. Before we move on to the third indicator, I want to gently remind you that we have an exclusive elite channel where we hold a live trading session every single day, and you can easily copy our signals. All you need to do is message us right now on our personal account. The link to it is in the description and pinned comment. You need to send a key phrase there saying, "I want to become an elite member," and then we'll add you to this channel. Here we work through the ideas. Here, we share our signals, so you can already start earning just by copying them. And also, in the pin message, you can easily find our course, which actually contains even more helpful and useful information for you. So the training covers how to work, how to trade completely, and also includes manuals on how to operate within the elite community. In short, the link to our contact will be in the description. Message us and become a member of our elite club. To use the next indicator, we need to go to the TradingView platform, which is a well-known charting tool. If you don't know what it is or how to use it, just leave a comment and I'll make a separate guide about this platform. The next indicator we'll need is volume. And volume doesn't exactly show us the current interest of buyers or sellers. No, basically it shows the market activity, the number of trades being made right now, and the amount of volatility. And accordingly, we can immediately see 3 scenarios: when there's no volatility at all, when volatility is average, and when volatility is very high. So with this indicator, we can understand, for example, that here we should work on 5 minutes, here on 3 minutes, and here we can work on 1 minute. In other words, volume at the moment shows whether the market is currently active or, on the contrary, waiting for something. So at the peak of activity, we can trade aggressively, we can trade quickly, but when there's no volume, the market will just stand still. Just like in this situation, no volume, the market is flat. Very high volume, the market is growing. This helps us understand that some zones can react very quickly. So the analysis will work very quickly as well. And accordingly, if you're a beginner, you can make this kind of adjustment and realize that, for example, right now it might be better for you not to trade. That's why volume rightfully takes third place for us. Let's move on to our fourth indicator, which is already completely independent. With this indicator, you'll be able to confidently work on your own right after finishing this video. By the way, to add the volume indicator, you just go right here and type in the word volume, and you'll get the standard volume indicator displayed. You add it, and it immediately appears on your chart, right away, without any delay. Use it now. It's really useful, so make sure to use it. It's a very useful indicator for beginners. The next indicator is already independent, and we can use it to work and open trades. We'll be working with it according to the trend. In other words, it's suitable for situations when there's an upward or downward movement. But when the market is moving sideways, we'll skip those situations. So how do we use this indicator? It's actually very simple. If we see an upward movement, we'll potentially open buy trades now. We'll open them when the indicator, or rather when the price, reaches a certain value on the indicator, specifically between the green and orange lines. When the price gets there, we open a buy trade and accordingly make a profit from it. It works exactly the same way with a downward movement. When we see that the price comes between the green and orange lines, we open sell trades. Right here, we can immediately spot 4 entry points. We are keeping an eye on the current trade. We've got plus 20 points, which is a pretty good move on a volatile currency pair. And as a result, I'm taking $990 in profit. As you can see, the same situation happens during a downtrend. The price came between the green and orange lines, and from there we could open our sell trades. In other words, we're trading with the trend. If you see a downward movement, you open trades to the downside. When the price enters this specific range, you open a trade accordingly and make money on it. To add this indicator, go to Indicators, and right here, click on Alligator. It will be added for you, but you need to tweak it a bit. So you can just copy these settings. These are the settings that actually work and bring in profit. Now let's move on to the last indicator. The next indicator, unlike the previous one, actually has better stats when it comes to the number of positive trades. But it's also similar to the previous one. It responds well to both upward and downward trends, but it also can't handle sideways movements or market chaos. That's why it's better to trade with it when you see a strong upward or downward movement. So how do we use this indicator? If you see a green cloud, that means you should open a buy trade. You should open it when the price enters this range. That is between these two lines. The price comes into this area. We look at the cloud and realize that it's time to open a buy trade. If the cloud is red, that means you should sell and accordingly open sell trades. Just like here, that is, the cloud is red. So from here, we open sell trades. As you can see, we have a pretty good move of 65 points, a confident trade that brings in $1,400. So the better the upward movement, and here you can clearly see a good example. This part suits us perfectly because we have an upward movement here, but this part doesn't suit us at all. So let's remember, we work during a strong upward movement. If you see this kind of sideways movement, it's better not to trade here. So all our entry points will be located roughly in this area. How do you add and set up this indicator? You go to Indicators, then click here on Ichimoku. At first, it looks completely different. Now you need to copy the following settings. Here are the values for the settings themselves. And accordingly, this is what you need to set for the appearance. Copy all of this, and then you can work with this indicator and get more than 80% profitable trades. Write in the comments which indicator you liked. As you can see, they're all pretty good. Some are independent and some are specifically aimed at ready-made trades. By the way, just a reminder, you can find more indicators on our Telegram channel. And also, if you would like to join our exclusive and elite club, the link to our direct messages can be found in the description below. Please feel free to message us with any questions you may have, and you can join our elite club and get access to even more ready-made strategies that are available for you. With that, I'll say goodbye for now. See you in the next videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.